welcome to today's episode of TSARP. I'm your host, Andrew Weir, and today our special guest is Sam.
Hi.
So, before we get into today's episode, I would like to give a big thanks to Dev and Melora from Kidoyo. Today they sent us 2 great zip-ups and a bunch of stickers, and they were Kidoyo and Oyo class branded, and they were really cool.
They were really cool, yeah.
Yeah, and they've been supporting the show since pretty much the beginning. And yeah, so big thanks to them. And hopefully we could even have Dev on for the 100th episode and talk a lot about Kidoyo. I mean, we're already basically the Kidoyo podcast. I bet a good 15% of all episodes are mainly based on Kidoyo, and at least 75% mention it. I don't know. I mean, it kind of all started about Kidoyo, because we use Kidoyo every day for coding. And it kind of just was involved from the start, and then they kind of learned about the podcast. And yeah, so that's kind of a brief history. But yeah, so big thanks to them for sending us this really cool stuff. And the funny thing is, we recently competed in the Skill Dash that our school put on, and Sam won. And the prize, or one of the prizes, the main prize, was a Kidoyo water bottle.
Yeah.
So Sam got a ton of Kidoyo merchandise today.
Yeah, and I've always wanted a Kidoyo water bottle for all my hackathon stickers. So thank you so much for funding an extra Melora. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it was funny because Mr. Ferrara told us that he wanted a prize, for winning, and then Sam mentioned he wanted a water bottle. So Mr. Ferrara was like, "Okay, let's see if we can make that the prize." And he's like, "Hopefully Sam wins, because if he doesn't, he'll see someone else get a water bottle and not him."
Yeah.
But luckily you won. That would have been really funny if Joseph had come in first and not second, and you would have had to see him get the water bottle.
Yeah.
So, in, our normal fashion, we're going to be talking about Kidoyo. Big surprise.
Yeah.
So, I've said Kidoyo. I think I should have a Kidoyo counter on, the screen. Make this a video podcast and have it, as many times as I've said Kidoyo. So, today we're going to be talking about how to use Kidoyo to get started coding, especially if you're a kid trying to learn to code. Or, really, it's a platform for anyone. But of course, Kidoyo, it's focused for kids, but also for schools trying to get kids into coding and their students into coding. So there's 4 main categories, right, on an Oyo class community. So there's courses, challenges, badges, and pathways. So of course they also have all the apps, but that's, you make the challenges with those apps. You make the projects for those challenges. So there's 4 main things to explore. And the courses, as you could probably tell, teach you about coding and how to do things. Then the badges are rewards you can get for coding and completing challenges. Challenges are projects that you need to complete or skills to learn, and there's certain criteria on how to complete them. When you complete them, you get a badge, and then a set of challenges is called a pathway. And at the end of that pathway, after getting all those badges and finishing all those challenges, you get a mastery badge. And there's 2 separate categories for badges. There's mastery and micro. So, for instance, kind of flex too, but for instance, I have 34 mastery, which isn't really a lot, and then I have 366 micro. So you're going to have a lot more micro badges than mastery. But yeah, so that's kind of how everything's organized, and I think they do it in a pretty good way.
Yeah.
So there's also 2 main kinds of challenges. There's quizzes, and then there's project ones. Project challenges. But the quizzes are also then broken into 2 different types. There's just regular multiple choice, and then there's Parsons quizzes. Parsons quizzes are where you get to organize code blocks and fill in code blocks, and it's kind of a more structured way of completing a challenge. And then the multiple choice, as you could think, is just multiple choice. What library does this, and then you select the library. So it's pretty simple. So there's categories, and all Kidoyo is they organize their categories very nicely. So then there's categories inside pathways and categories inside badges and categories inside challenges. So in our main school community, we have it separated by grade and then separated by app. So some apps are combined, like the Python Mini is combined with Python 3. And the difference for someone who doesn't know is Python Mini runs on 2.7 from what I've heard recently, and Python 3 runs on, of course, Python 3, but more specifically, I think it's like Python 3.1, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. And then your community curator or teacher can make more specific categories. Like, for instance, our in brackets tournament challenge has its own category. So in those categories, you can easily find the type of challenges you want to complete. So for Python, there's Python quizzes and Python challenges, and you can take these and get badges and keep learning. Now, say you come across a challenge that you don't know how to do. So then you can go into the courses tab, and there's all different categories on how to do things. And you can use the search tool and just search up what you want and say, I'm trying to do area in Python. I could search area Python, and then it might or might not, depending on the community, there might be more courses than others, and then there might be a course having to do with that. So
Yeah.
it's structured in a very good way, and they really make it very easy and intuitive to get into it and kind of use Kidoyo. And then after that, once you've found the challenge you want to do, and you just look at the course, you know how to do it, then you go into the apps tab, and there's a bunch of different apps. So some communities, like I said, have a lot, some don't. But there's their own Scratch type of app called Hatch. They also have Python Mini, Python 3, a Java editor, an Arduino editor, Oyo website, and web editor. Web editor allows you to make small little HTML files, while Oyo website allows you to host your own website. So there's some that you might think do the same, but are actually different. Also, like Color by Code is a program they made themselves that is an easy way to get kindergartners and up into coding by kind of learning the basics of problem solving and kind of organizing it in a way that's very simple for very early ages and very colorful and makes kids want to do it, and makes them excited about learning how to code.
Which is very
So,
important. Yeah.
yeah, it's important to be excited, because if you're not, you're kind of just doing it because you want to learn it, but you're not gonna, after you learn it, you kind of have to do it frequently. And it's easier to do it frequently if you want to do it. If you're kind of forcing yourself, you're not going to do it even as much as if you want to do it. So wanting to code is, or wanting to do anything is going to help you, of course, do it. So making it fun and making it interesting, especially for young ages, is important, and I think they do that in a very easy way. And like, if you also go into the pathways and get a mastery badge, there's even a big fireworks celebration, and it kind of like makes it like, wow, I really completed something, and makes you feel like you did something. And seeing your badge count go up is really cool. And they really just organize it in an exciting, easy to learn, and fun way. So that's a kind of intro and how to get started. And yeah, so of course, if you have any questions, there's mentors at the ready that check challenges and answer any questions you have. They're pretty much always online, at least one of them. And yeah, I mean, and even Dev and Melora are online a lot of the time, especially during the day. And you can always tag them and ask them questions, and they'll normally, as long as it's a smart question, not like, how do I get to the courses tab, they'll definitely help you out and answer it.
Yeah.
So, I hope you enjoyed listening. And again, big thanks to Dev and Melora. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.